I wanted to talk to you about this crisis that's going on right now. And I could tell you for myself, I remember the dot-com crisis that took place in the early 2000s. I remember the financial crisis that hit our country 2008. And then obviously now the C-19 crisis that's hitting us all right now. And I could tell you of the three, there's nothing that's had a more profound effect than this one, than the C-19 crisis, not only here in the United States, but globally. So I look at this and I think, what can I do? What can I do the most? What can I do today that's going to at least try to maximize, my personal growth during this time? Because you think about it, there's never been a time in history where all of us are kind of kept at home trying to self-quarantine, and there's really no place to go. The businesses are closed, the health clubs, everything's closed. So how can we take this moment that we have and try to benefit? And I think that the first place to start is self-reflection. I know for me, I financially looked at things, whether you're running a business. As I sit here and I think about it, I think, what is it that I can do to maximize my time and try to make something good come from this? And I found that the first thing I looked at was the businesses that I'm involved with. And I think the right thing to do is to try to dial everything back to zero if you can, meaning that make a full assessment of all of your expenses. I know for me, when I started looking at it, I was amazed by the amount of just, kind of meaningless spending that was going on. And it wasn't that it was a lot, $50 here, $70 there, but at the end of the month, it all kind of adds up a little bit. And so looking at those things, it really gives me a good opportunity to reset my business and look at truly what are the true business expenses that I need to function and what are not. I do the same thing with my personal accountability. How am I spending my money? How am I spending my free cash? And I was amazed at the amount of money that I was spending going out at night and just all the soft spending that I was doing that at the end of the month would amount to thousands of dollars in my case. So taking a financial inventory of my personal expenses and my business expenses was the right thing to do. No question about it. The other side of it is personal growth. What can I do during this time of crisis to better myself? And I think that it's very important for all of us. There's a couple of paths that we can go down, and we have to be careful, because I know we're all going through this, but there are some days that, if you're not careful, you're going to look up at, it's going to be 3 p.m. and you're still going to be in your PJs. And I think that's what we have to be careful about. Every day I make a point to have a plan of what I'm going to do. Now, I still get up in the morning. I have a cup of tea. I do my devotional. That's the first thing that I do when I get set. After that, I meditate for about 10 to 15 minutes. And believe me, I'm a work in progress in that department. But I've been told by so many people that I should meditate because it's really good for the mind and the soul. And so I'm taking this time that I'm doing it. Every day I meditate, and sometimes I meditate multiple times a day. Why? Because I have the time. So the punchline here is take an assessment of who you are as a person and who you want to be, and start making some changes. So what did I do? As I said, I get up in the morning, I have tea, I do my devotional, I meditate, all right? I take a shower, because generally later in the morning, I might have some podcasts or some phone calls, Skype, Zoom calls that I need to make. So I want to be showered. I don't want to look like I've disheveled and just rolled out of bed. Then I make some time to get my exercise. I do my exercise right here in my pad. So it's not like I'm going to go anywhere. So I get it done right here. I know some of you are thinking, wow, why wouldn't you do your workout before you shower? You know what? It doesn't make any difference to me whether I do my workout in the morning or the afternoon, because I know I'm going to have the time to do it. It's just a matter of me making the time, and when you have nothing but time, it's no problem. So the other thing I want you to think about is personal growth. And what does it mean by that? And I started looking at, am I carrying any grudges? So I want to come out of this a different person. I think the world personally is going to come out of this in a much different fashion than we came into it. I think that it's going to be a different world that we're going to live in. I mentioned this the other day, that I think even when we're Christmas shopping this fall, you're going to still see people with masks and gloves on And that's just the new normal for the world and certainly for this country. So in terms of personal growth, what are some of the things that I wanted to do? And first thing I asked myself is, are there any grudges that I'm carrying? And fortunately for me, I'm wired in a way where I don't have any grudges. I don't have any ill will towards anyone. But I really did some soul searching and thinking about that. Is there anybody that I have any ill feelings for? And I don't. But if I did, I would go out of my way to approach those people, and I would give them a sincere apology and tell them I meant no harm, and I hope they can find it in their heart to forgive me. Now here's the important component. If they don't forgive you, if they choose not to, that's okay. That's on them. It's not on you. Because when you're coming through this, you need to be able to draw a line in the sand and then not look in the rearview mirror. So in order, part of forgiving yourself is forgiving all others and looking for forgiveness in anything that you've done. A good rule of thumb. Self-improvement, trying to learn another language. I didn't go down that path because I've been trying to do that for a long time. I spend a little bit more time trying to learn Spanish. I'm completely pathetic at it. I'm not ready to throw the towel in yet. And I know for all of you followers out there, believe me, I'm neck deep into Duolingo and all these other things and translator. As I said, I'm not giving up on it, but I am going to just do my best in that area. So the other thing I want to talk about is, if you're a business owner, what am I going to do to when things go back to normal? I want you to understand something. I want to set the tone for you. Even if they lifted the quarantine tomorrow, if you're a restaurant owner, a movie theater, anything that's people facing, a health club, don't expect that your business is going to ramp up 0 to 60 overnight. It's not going to. People are still going to be apprehensive. They're going to let things. You're going to start to see a trickle of business coming back into your business, and it may take you months before you get back on track. So, what is it that you can do to help? And I always say this. I'm going to speak to this in terms of like running a health club. Understand, running a health club, if you don't get people in your doors, you don't have an opportunity to sell. So, giving people an opportunity to come and try your club. So, what I do, I would join the local chamber in the community that I'm serving. I would join the chamber just to get a list of all of the businesses that are within my trade area. You can decide what your trade area is. In most of my clubs, it tends to be anywhere from a 1.5 to 3 mile distance. So get a list of all of the businesses within 1.5 to 3 miles of my location. Next thing I do, when I take that list, I make a personal stop into every one of those businesses. I make a personal stop into those businesses, and I invite them and their family and friends, for that matter, to come and try my club for a free trial membership. Keep in mind, there's no obligation to join. I want to give myself an opportunity to earn their business, earn their trust. I promise you, if you don't go in and make that face-to-face correlation to get the results you're looking for. So you got to make that face-to-face effort in front of every one of these businesses. It's probably something you've never done before. Trust me, try it yourself, and you'll see a result. You won't be disappointed. Make sure that your staff is on board with you on what you're doing. In other words, keep them informed. The last thing you want to do is go into your trade area, invite all these people to come and try your facility. Keep in mind, why do you want to do it? Because, as I said, your current members, they're not going to all come back at once. So this gives you an opportunity to really focus on driving the public into your club, so you can have an opportunity to sell them a membership and get them enrolled as well. You're thinking about all the different ways that you can start bringing revenue back into your doors. Once your doors open, once again, don't get back to your old spending habits. Okay, that's bad business. Reflect on what those spending habits are and really draw that line on what is a necessity and what is a want. Don't go back to bad habitual spending, okay? It's not healthy for you, and it's not healthy for your business. Once again, just getting back to your employees, make sure that they're sharing in the vision that you are, because the last thing you want to do is bring people into your business and not have your staff be prepared. You got to have your best foot forward. Your staff has got to be on point. Make sure that the people that you have at your front desk are the people that really go above and beyond the sense of customer service and customer care. That's going to matter. A bare minimum would be a strong greeting when people walk in, and when they leave, thank them for coming in, hope to see them tomorrow, right? Make sure at the end of the day that people leave with a pass. And even if they say they're not interested in a free trial membership, no problem. Say, look, I'm going to give you one anyway in case you change your mind, and I'm going to give you an extra one that you can give to a friend. That way you can come in with a buddy. Once again, you're trying to reinstate or reinforce to these people that, look, you're here for the long haul. When you come back, we're going to do an orientation for you. We're going to find out what your wellness goals are and make sure we get you pointed in the right direction. And you can also say things like, look, I'm going to get you pointed in the right direction. Whether you do that here, whether you do it at home, I'm glad that I could be part of the solution for you getting healthier or meeting your wellness goals. When you say those types of things, when people leave, they're going to think, wow, you know what, that person, they really care. And you genuinely do. You have to go above and beyond the call of duty, because that's what today's consumer is expecting. Okay? Another thing that I do with my business, I say, look, if I don't earn your business, earn your trust, you can cancel your membership at any time. That's one thing that I do. I'm all about it. I'm not about shackling people into some sort of a membership. Now, the other thing that you can do is you can say, look, we have a 100% money back guarantee. If we haven't delivered on our promise, we give you your money back. We refund your money. I can tell you this, in the history of my company, we've given out a handful of refunds, and I literally mean a handful of refunds when you're talking about millions of members in our facilities. So it's a non-material issue, but it gives the consumer a sense of comfort knowing that you're willing to put your money where your mouth is. It's very, very important. Okay, if you're in the restaurant business, start leading with, or start your marketing by saying, look, we have a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. And our purpose behind that is we want to make sure that your dining experience is right on point. We want to make sure that your dining experience was everything that you wanted it to be. All right. And this is so important, especially if you're an upper end restaurant and people are paying their hard-earned money, especially people coming back. People coming back, many of them have a lot of road rash. They've been trying to deal with a lack of cash flow. So now you're asking them to take some of that free cash that they now have after they've been going for 3-4 months with no cash. You're asking them to take that money and pay it to you so they can have a great dining experience. Very important that you understand and that they understand how much you appreciate their sharing their dollars with you. So important to create that customer loyalty, to get people to come back and let them know that you appreciate that business. So everyone, I could go on and on about this, but the whole gist of today's discussion is just to understand that you've got to make people feel special. Okay, so I don't care if you're in any kind of a consumer-facing business, make an effort to make people feel special. Number one. Number two, do a personal inventory of yourself. Right? Come out of this a better person, a better version of yourself. Ask yourself, how do you want to show up every day? And quit looking in the rearview mirror on who you were. Start looking in the future of who you're going to be and who you are. That is so important today. And then also, you guys know, I've got to say it, find God, make God a part of your life. It's so important. And, I think once you do that, if you've lived a life without God, you have to ask yourself, how's that worked out for you? Maybe try it with him and see how that goes for you. Everybody, take care, be safe, stay healthy. God bless.